In the headlines, EFCC arrests fake army general for 270 million naira fraud. 3,000 IDPs in Kaduna want military formation established. Former political appointees in Adamawa demand payment of over 700 million naira entitlement. And on the foreign scene, North Korea fires more missiles, warns US of stronger reaction. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba. Thank you for joining. The news in details. Now, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says its operatives attached to Lagos Zonal Command of the Anti-Graft Agency have arrested a fake army general, Bolarinwa Oluwasegun, over an alleged 270 million fraud. The commission, through its spokesman, Wilson Owujaren, explained that the suspect, who posed as a general in the Nigerian army, allegedly made false representations to the complaint CODEF Clearing Resources that President Muhammadu Buhari had shortlisted him to be appointed as the Chief of Army Staff and needed a short grant to press and process the appointment, allegedly forged a letter of appointment as Chief of Army Staff purportedly signed by President Muhammadu Buhari and showed the same to the victim to further prove his claim. The fake general, upon his arrest at his house in Alagbadu area of Lagos State on Wednesday, January 12, 6 pump-action guns, a 3-cartridge bullets, a swagger stick, and several forged documents were recovered from him. The EFCC noted that the suspect will be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. Authorities of the University of Jos have cautioned students of the institution to always be wary of their movements and be cautious of their whereabouts as they resume for the 2020 and 2021 academic session. This followed the killing of late Ms. Jennifer Anthony, a 300-level student of the university, by a suspected ritualist, Moses Oko. Dixon Adama reports.
The University of Jos management have warned their students to be very careful and be watchful of their movement, particularly with the recent incidents of ritual killings in Jos, the Plateau State capital, of which girls have become the victims. The recent cases are that of Plagna Solomon and as well as Jennifer Anthony. However, the killer of Jennifer Anthony has been caught and was paraded yesterday at the police headquarters, but that of Plagna Solomon is yet to be unraveled. But in all, the girls have been warned to watch their movement, as well as every other students have been warned to watch their movement, because the idea is that killers are in town, ritualists are in town, and they are suspected to be Yahoo boys who have been pursued from Port Harcourt or Lagos or wherever they must have come from, and they have invaded Jos, because Jos is a new place for them. So girls should watch out, people should watch out, and parents should warn their wards to be very careful. Trust TV will be on ground to follow up all the issues that have been happening in this respect, and we will bring it to you accordingly. Dixon Salami Adama, reporting from Jos.
Meanwhile, bloodletting has returned to some communities despite signing peace agreement in recent past in Plateau State. Trust TV's Ado Musa reports.
As of today, the spokesperson of Irigwe ethnic group, Malison Davison, told Trust TV that personnel of Operation Safe Haven have been deployed to the community to restore law and order. Even though he said, prior to the attack, there were even personnel of the operation in the area, but find it difficult or asking why and how the attack was launched. But what is worrisome about the crisis between Irigwe and Fulani ethnic group has been the effort being put in place by different stakeholders. I could remember soon after the crisis that occurred in August last year, various committees were set up to ensure peace and harmony in the area. Governor Simon Lalong has sat severally with the warring parties to ensure that they understand one another and then live with one another. The Plateau Peace Building Agency has, after the August crisis, said that the agency has sat for almost 80 times with the Fulani and Irigwe ethnic group just to
Over now to the northwestern part of the country, nearly 3,000 internally displaced persons, IDPs from Chikun local government areas of Kaduna State, want government to establish military unit and police barracks around their communities so that they can be protected against activities of bandits. The internally displaced persons made the appeal to the government at the Goning, Gora and Kujama IDP camps when Chikun local government council stakeholders paid them a visit. The report.
These are the victims of attacks by gunmen. They came from different villages seeking refuge in Kujama, Mararabandrido, Goningora, among other communities. Reverend Bulus Kamu, a victim of the attack who is coordinating 8 IDP camps in Kaduna, said that most are in need of food, clothing and healthcare services, calling on the government to come to their aid.
Responded were over 3,000 people. So what we intend to do, in fact, we have to go across Goningora to get gari for them. Could you believe me that 3 bags, they drank it dried because of the hunger. They were very hungry. I was even asking somebody to go and bring water before I know 3 bags is gone. Because in fact, there are people that are sleeping on trees, sleeping on mountains, sleeping beside the rivers. In fact, it's not easy. Even my house, over 2 years now, they are camping here.
Richard John, councillor of Kakao Ward in Chikun, appeals to the government to beef up security in the affected communities so that they can go back to their villages to pursue their legitimate businesses.
Kaduna State government, police, we need more security. If you go to Kakaudaji, Kaso, Kashebo, there is not any single man living there. And all those places are the places that our people are farming. We see someone will get a bag of corn 130. Someone, I was in the palace right now. There's someone needs help from security men to go and help them remove their farm product. Over 60 bags, but no way.
Ezra Sule, who narrowly escaped from an attack, narrates his ordeal.
Some people that they shoot them, which is they take them from hospital, and definitely some we lost them. Even though to have a food to eat is very difficult, talk less to have money to spend. Well, kidnapped people just come at once in the evening time, like they're around 3. So they come that area, seriously they finish that area. Even the church, they burn the church, take less of the houses. And there's some food items, they burn all of this. And there's some people that they were running, so they catch them. Some people might we even find them after the day.
Member representing Chikun constituency in the Kaduna State Assembly, Ayuba Chawaza, said that he will continue to facilitate relief materials for the internally displaced persons from government agencies and well-meaning individuals to alleviate their suffering.
Either empowerment program, come up with health services program, come up even with other non-governmental organizations, and also the philanthropists, as many people can reach out both home and abroad to come into our aid so that these people can have a better life.
Chikun has recorded series of bandit attacks, displacing many residents from their homes.
Staying with security matters, Nigerian government has procured about 200 combat vehicles and other equipment to help strengthen its war against crime. President Muhammadu Buhari commissioned the operational equipment at the police force headquarters in Abuja, saying that government is very positive that the equipment will augment strategies by the nation's security forces to rid the country of insecurity. Trust TV's Sagir Ibrahim has details.
As part of efforts to combat crime and the rising rate of insecurity in the country, the Nigerian police force has taken delivery of about 200 guerrilla combat trucks, over 100,000 combat helmets and combat vests among other tactical equipment. Speaking during the commissioning of the equipment at the force headquarters in Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the Minister of Police Affairs, Megari Dingyadi, called on the police force to make adequate use of the equipment in its ongoing fight against crime.
I am convinced that the Inspector General of Police and his management team will commit officers and men of Nigerian police to reciprocate government efforts through judicious and effective use of these facilities for improvement of Nigerian security architecture, as government will not condone any act of abuse and malhandling of the facilities provided from very limited resources.
He also called on the force to continue to maintain the highest level of professionalism as they discharge their duties.
I therefore urge officers and men of Nigerian police force to continue putting in their best in the discharge of their duties and to adopt a holistic internal security mechanism in the country so as to ensure the provision of conducive environment needed to boost operations of Nigerian police force and by extension and place a more peaceful and safe country for economic buoyancy and the improved livelihood for the citizenry.
Also speaking was the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund, Ahmed Aliyu, who appreciated the President and the National Assembly for their support towards ensuring that the fund fulfills its mandate.
I will not conclude this without once again thanking Mr. President for not only ensuring that the MPF bill reached the fruition of becoming an act, but to also thank Mr. President for supporting the board and the management in ensuring that we move closer day in, day out in achieving the objectives of the trust fund.
On his part, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali, pledged the commitment of the force to continue its partnership with the Police Trust Fund towards the actualization of its mandate.
We will continue to partner with the Trust Fund and we will not relent in our rendering any form of assistance and support to ensure that the Nigeria Police Trust Fund maintains the momentum while achieving its laudable objectives to the satisfaction of Nigerians.
Alkali also added that the newly procured equipment will enhance the operational capacity of the force to face the problems of banditry, kidnapping, terrorism and other vices head-on.
With the launch of these critical operational assets, our operational capacity shall be enhanced well enough to address current challenges of banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, and sundry violent crimes that have been threatening our nation in recent times, even though there is room for improvement. I call on all Nigerians, corporate bodies, multinational organizations to key into the goals of the Trust Fund to enable it accomplish its mission.
Behind me are some of the 200 guerrilla vehicles which were commissioned by the representative of the President of Nigeria, that's the Minister of Police Affairs, Megari Dingyadi. According to the Executive Secretary of the Police Trust Fund, over 8 billion naira was spent to procure the vehicles as well as 100,000 helmets and combat vests as well as other equipment which are expected to be deployed across the 36 states of the Federation to enhance the fight against crime, criminality and other vices in the country. Sagir Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
Now, former governor of Lagos State and APC National Leader Bola Tinubu is in Gusau, Zamfara State capital, to condole with the people and government over the recent killings of dozens in Bukuyum and Anka local government areas by bandits. Governor Bello Matawalle received the visiting APC presidential hopeful.
If anybody suffers that, I am your president. whether you belong to other party or not, we must unite against evil first. First, the security of our nation, the territorial sovereignty of this nation will be protected by all these nations. Let's keep Nigeria united, regardless of your tribe.
Let me tell you, I was shocked yesterday about 4 o'clock. I saw so many missed calls on my phone. I then returned back the call. I was informed that the Jagaba is coming to my state. This is a great blessing for all of us. So precisely, since the sharp incidents of attacks in Anka and Ukulu local government areas, we have been inundated with messages and visitations from all over the country, the sympathy visit by the political colossus, the touring personalities and leaders in many fields of human endeavor will further console the brave communities and the entire people of the state. Excellency, sir, the programs of banditry in the state has persisted for over a decade now. When I assumed office in 2019, I made my utmost priority to address this issue as no meaningful. On behalf of the people, sir, the government of Zamfara State, I thank you most sincerely, Your Excellency, for taking time out of your tight schedules and your tight schedules and the commitments for coming to Zamfara State to commiserate with us as a government and the people.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at how domestic gas price keeps fluctuating. For these and more, stay with us.
January 15th every year, Nigeria observes the Armed Forces Remembrance Day in honor of soldiers who gave their lives for the unity of the nation. All across the country, wreaths are laid, speeches are made, government officials attend elaborate parades performed by soldiers and the Nigerian Legion. What is celebrated is the surrender of the secessionist Biafran forces to the Nigerian government on January 15, 1970. It is also a day set aside to celebrate war veterans who laid their lives during the World War. January 15th was also the day the first military coup took place in Nigeria. January 15th, 1966 and January 15th, 1970 all hold deep significance in the history of the country. Is this a mere coincidence? Join us on Trust TV as we bring you an exclusive broadcast of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day on January 15th, 2022.
Thanks for staying. You're watching Trust News Update. Now here's another look at some of the top stories again. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) says its operatives attached to Lagos Zonal Command of the Anti-Graft Agency have arrested a fake Army General, Bolarinwa Oluwasegun, over an alleged 270 million naira fraud. Plus, nearly 3,000 internally displaced persons from Chikun local government area of Kaduna State want government to establish military units and police barracks around their communities so that they can be protected against activities of bandits. Moving on, Nigeria Center for Disease Control has reported 423 new cases of COVID-19 in 16 states and the Federal Capital Territory. According to the agency's update for Thursday, January 13, the agency said that 364 people were discharged after they recovered from the infection, with no deaths recorded, leaving the fatality toll at 3,000 92. With the new confirmed cases, Nigeria has now recorded a total of 250,009 infections and 221,203 recoveries. Twitter users react to lifting of ban on the social media platform about 7 months after Nigeria government. The ban on the usage of the Twitter in the country followed a tweet by President Buhari warning secessionists was deleted. The government removes the suspension following an agreement between the authorities and the Twitter management. This comes months after many businesses suffered losses due to the unavailability of social media platform to advertise or carry out their business activities. Trust TV's Chijoke Kafo tells us more.
2021 to 13th January 2022, the usage of Twitter in Nigeria stood still, following a government ban placed on the social media platform. The ban occurred after Twitter deleted tweets made by the Nigeria's president, Muhammadu Buhari, warning the southeastern people of Nigeria, predominantly Igbo people, of a potential repeat of the 1967 Biafran Civil War due to the ongoing insurgency in northeastern Nigeria. However, barely 3 days after the ban, it was reported that the ban had cost the country over 6 billion naira. This is in addition to other private business entities that have gone almost bankrupt as a result of the ban. Samuel Ajako runs a business that leverages on the power of social media to gain popularity amongst potential clients, especially Twitter. He explains that the lifting of the ban is a welcomed development, only that it is coming months after some businesses have almost been run down.
Okay, so it affected us in two ways, and I'll just give you a summary of those two. The first one is we had a big problem convincing investors that Nigeria is a country to invest in, because with the policy that was passed of banning Twitter, it affected how startups in Nigeria showcased their businesses, how we were able as venture capital firms to track these businesses and ensure that they are actually productive enough. So it affected, we had to struggle to convince investors that Nigeria is still a market to invest in. The second thing there that it did for us here, it was difficult for us, like I mentioned, to track such businesses. We found it difficult to interact with such businesses. Facebook and the other social media is not as reputable as that of Twitter. A lot of persons who are diligent in their business use Twitter to communicate and also reach out to their customers. So it did affect. We had some complaints filed into those businesses that we have under our portfolios.
On 12th January 2022, the Nigerian government lifted the ban after Twitter agreed to pay an applicable tax and establish a legal entity in Nigeria during the first quarter of 2022. This, some say, would help create employment opportunities in the country.
To me, I think maybe it's because of the election coming up, so they need to use the platform to, do some campaigns and everything. So, but this is a good one. Well, to an extent, I would say they don't have their what they call it, people at heart, because if this thing happens, they've not corrected it, they've not done any reform to say, okay, that because of this is why we shut down this platform, the things that led to this, have they addressed it? They've not addressed it. They've not really put in something that we can say, yes, they actually went for because of what we protested against, and
Twitter.
Now, despite abundance of liquefied petroleum gas, popularly known as cooking gas, which experts say is capable of generating over 100,000 megawatts of electricity, the rising cost of the product has forced some LPG users to shift to charcoal or firewood as consumers of the commodity raise an alarm over the persistent hike in the price. Trust TV's Fatima Musa speaks to some consumers on the price of cooking gas.
While reacting to the recent marginal drop in the cost of cooking gas, the federal government noted it was putting measures in place to ensure further reduction in the cost of liquefied petroleum gas, 8,400 and 8,200. In some outlets, the price of the commodity dropped between 7,800 and 8,000. The product had increased by 240% for 12.5 kg, moving up from 3,000 to 10,200 within the first 10 months of the year 2021. Sometime last year, there was a huge increment of gas price in the market. The average price of cooking gas is 750 naira per kg in Nigeria. At least this is what the retailers sell in the black market, and is subject to change due to fluctuation of price over time. We are here to find out what the current price of gas is and also to hear the views of people who use gas within the FCT.
Well, the price increase has really affected people going by the income that people are earning. Like way back we used to buy a kilogram for about 340 something naira, and now it has doubled the price. So I mean, everybody is feeling the brunt of the increase. I feel the government should be able to regulate the price and drop it down for the masses to be able to actually afford to buy gas and use in their homes.
Honestly speaking, the country has gone to something else. And right now as I speak to you, I'm thinking of going back to charcoal. Maybe I will start using charcoal, since the bag of charcoal now is 3,500. And the gas, honestly speaking, I don't think I can really make it. Yeah, 5, later increase to 5,000, 6,000. So going for that higher rate, honestly speaking, is still on the higher side.
As of the gas, every day is just going up. The price is just inflating every day. We don't have choice now. We keep using it because that's the only option we have. Even the light is not stable for us to use it.
But there was
for the federal government, if they can reduce the price, it will help the society because many people are complaining. Even we ourselves, we are complaining. But when you don't have choice, you don't have anything to do than to buy. But some people buy out of pain. But if they can reduce the price, we'll be satisfied with it. Let it come a bit low. But even those that are using kerosene, they're still complaining. So the gas and everything is just high.
According to some gas users, there is need for the federal government to address this issue with urgency, and some are hopeful that maybe the price may come down a bit more so that they may be able to afford it. Fatima A. Musa, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now on the foreign scene, North Korea has fired at least 2 ballistic missiles, the third test in 2 weeks, just hours after criticizing a U.S. push for new sanctions over the previous launches as a provocation and warning of a strong reaction. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff on Friday said it had detected what it presumed were 2 short-range ballistic missiles launched eastwards from North Pyongyang province on the west coast of North Korea. And with that, we wrap up Trust News Update. Do well to click the subscribe button on our YouTube and also connect with us via our social media handles. I am Ayubelia. Thank you for watching.